Hello, lovelies. Welcome to my Soulful Selling Challenge. So, this challenge is positioned to give you some empowerment around making offers. Maybe it's around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, maybe it's around Christmas time and Christmas week, maybe it's a New Year offer. But the idea is that I'm just going to give you loads of food for thought so that you can think about your own positioning on Substack and what you want to do. My experience, having been here since April 2022, is that it's got progressively noisier as the years have gone on. And there are a lot of flash sales, discounts, coupons flying around at this time of year. So I want to empower you to really think about what you want to do and not be reactive in any way. So if you see some of the coupons flying around and you feel a certain type of way, that's okay. But what we're actually going to do is be really, really strategic with what we want to do around selling. We're also going to connect to some of the feelings that we have around selling. So, you know me, you know I love to go really deep into my work. And because we have some of these feelings around selling, we have to really journal into where that is all coming from. So, we'll do a little bit of that today, and I'll explain my VIP framework to you all. Hi, if you're new to my space, my name is Claire Venus. I run Sparkle on Substack, which is a membership, and I run Creatively Conscious, which is a paid newsletter here on Substack. I started my journey here in April 2022. One of the reasons for coming to Substack was me and my husband really wanted to self-express in a long form way. I'd had blogs in the past. I'd had a newsletter since 2017 called Notes from the Sea, and I was really curious about Substack. At that time, I think a couple of months after I started, video was only in beta testing. So I signed up for the beta testing. I wasn't confident with video. I was really learning the ropes of business as I went along. I've been self-employed since 2008, but I've only been running a business since 2017. So what happened with the swell of the pandemic gave me that real permission slip to test ideas and to get curious about my own positioning when it came to the global world of selling creativity, of getting people into community, of feeling like I had something of value to offer to my audience. And I feel it's a lifelong practice in many ways. Outwardly, I could list off successes. I don't know whether and how that resonates. Like I'm still sort of grappling with some of that stuff myself. My business does turn over six figures. Some people find that impressive. It's actually, in all honesty, a lot to hold. So I'll just say that. But if you are looking for that kind of social proof and what I'm able to do, I've supported thousands of students. I've got really successful membership here on Substack. I've got a really successful paid newsletter, which is a bestseller, and I love my work. I absolutely love this work. So this class is an active service to you all. The remainder of the classes will be behind the paywall, and that's not to gatekeep in any way. That's because I am only one person and the challenges get busy, and I like to be able to reference everybody, to sit with people, to have conversation and to take things deeper. And what I've learned about my own practice is even if I bring VAs in, it just is too much to hold, and I actually want to go deeper with fewer people. So if you're not in the membership over at Sparkle on Substack, you can get access to this challenge by joining the membership, or you can pay just as a one-off to jump in and then cancel. This Substack houses four other challenges. So we've had joyful growth challenges, we've had homepage design challenges, we've had growth to Substack bestseller, so 101 paid subscriber challenges, and that's all in here in this Substack. So you'll be so welcome to join us if you want to join us. Challenges by Claire Venus. So that differentiates the other two Substacks that I have. That's all the housekeeping. The chat will be open for you to introduce yourselves. I'll just get that sun flare. As beautiful it is as it is, you'll not be able to see me. 2 seconds. Let me just pause recording. There we go. A little bit darker now. So you will be able to introduce yourself in chat and tell us some of your goals when it comes to making a sale. So running a sale or making a sale. So converting people from readers to paid subscribers, or starting a membership, or even selling off platform. So you can talk about all of that sort of gorgeous stuff in the chat. I pulled two oracle cards for us at the start. I pulled Hope, and I also pulled Power. And I thought this was really interesting. So one of the reasons that I think that I've pulled these cards is because with a lot of my clients, I feel like they hope that people will pay, whereas actually what I want to do is empower them and really give them the power in their own beautiful world with our work to know that people will pay as long as they understand the value proposition. So the value that they are laying out and where that all sits. So I talk about this a lot, but people pay for Substacks for four different reasons. The first reason is to feel something. So they want to feel something. So sometimes that is activated through activism content, journalistic type content, fast-paced stuff, story, memoir. Other times they want to pay to feel educated. So like Sparkle on Substack, it's Substack education, right? So people can come behind the scenes in the membership and get all of the access to the A to Z library and get educated on Substack and Substack mastery. So that's there. One of the other reasons that people pay is to feel a sense of community. So they want to feel like they've joined something. So Beth Kempton's Soul Circle is a beautiful example of that. Susie Walker's Heartleap Writing Community is a beautiful example of that. But it doesn't have to be physical Zoom communities. It can be that people feel like they're part of something in the comments as well. So there's a few different ways when we think about where our Substack is positioned. And one of the things that I like you to really think about is which one of those that you kind of feel like you fit into. So if people are paying to feel something, then that's beautiful, isn't it? They want to feel something, they want to feel connected to whatever it is that you are gathering them around. Like it could be stories around the fire, or it could be activism on a particular topic. It could be that it's that education piece, or it could be that it's that community piece. People also pay to be in the know on things. So people want to be part of something in that way, like they feel like they get the intel, the inside scoop. So that could be part of it as well. So the VIP framework that I want to walk you through in this first tutorial today, VIP is really just the analogy to remind you that your readers are your VIPs. They're very important people to you. They're people that could share your work, the people that could give you insight about your work, that could be supportive in the comments, that could share you in notes, that could share you off platform, that could bring new paying subscribers into your space. All of that happens with me. And I feel like recognizing that our readers are so precious to us. Some of them are on a timeline to pay in, some of them will never ever pay. Some readers are just in there because they want to be in there and they want to be subscribed, and they might eventually decide that they want to move on. There's so many different dynamics playing out all the time, but our position as host of our own publication on Substack should be to treat everybody as VIPs. So VIP stands for value, and then immediate offer, and then price. And this framework, I think, should really help you when it comes to positioning what it is that you want to offer when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, any of the Christmas sales. So the value of what you offer. So like I spoke about in the reasons people pay, you have to understand your innate value. So this is the power card. So you have to understand what that is, and you also have to articulate it to people. People can sense value by having, a healthy archive of previous articles, or having some replay classes, or in your about page, you've got some social proof and people have left beautiful testimonials about your work. You want to be going through your Substack and really understanding what is the value here, both for free and paid subscribers if you already have paid turned on, but understanding your innate value is first, and then understanding the value that other people would have and the reason that they might pay is second. So we are innately valuable. It doesn't matter how many people pay or how many people subscribe. We have a voice, we have things to say. We're on a journey of curation and publishing here on Substack, and that's beautiful. The immediate offer is, if you don't have an immediate offer that is highly valuable to somebody, or if they are not in a position to sort of support you because they don't know you well enough, then they will subscribe and not pay. So I think people are always surprised when someone pays early on, and perhaps they've never chatted to that person, or they don't recognize their name. They're not from any of their worlds off platform. They've found their work and they innately value it enough to pay straight away. And people pay, because they want to support as well. Let's not forget there are Patreon models that have worked the world over for artists and writers, creatives. So sometimes that can be a bit of a surprise and a jar. And I often get with people that they'll get a paid subscriber or a couple of paid subscribers right off the bat. Maybe one's a family member and one's a stranger, and it sends them into a flat spin because they weren't really expecting anyone to pay. But that is beautiful because then you've got a person that you can chat to about the reason. Like obviously if it's a family member, they're doing it from a supportive point of view, but if it is a stranger or a set of strangers, there's an option there to get to know them. The other thing that wobbles people is if that those people don't engage. So if those people don't comment, if those people don't come to calls, if you host calls, there's so many lurkers in my world. I've got over 400 members in Sparkle on Substack, and it's been higher than that in the past. And maximum I've had 50 people on a call. So there will always be people that watch replays that don't engage at all, that write to me that say I've been in your world for a couple of years now, or listen to your podcast or whatever. That's fine. So what we need to do is get people on a journey of understanding the value of what we stand for before we hit Black Friday, before we hit the Christmas sale. It's no good just putting an email in front of them and saying, oh, like, here's everything I offer behind the paywall. They need to have some teasers, some things before then, so then they know. Case in point, I've just closed my diamond membership and I knew this would happen. I gave it my all. And my daughter was really sick this week, so I couldn't do all the things I had planned, but I really felt like I'd given it my all. And there were still people messaging me the next day being like, tell me about your diamond membership. Not like they hadn't even read the emails. They were like just separate to that. They were like, tell me about your diamond membership. And I had to be like, well, actually, it's closing this weekend, and picking up the conversation. I feel like we can always speak about things more. We want to be aiming for up to 30 times that we mention what the value is, what the thing is, what it's called. People take a while to get that brand association. So the immediate offer that you might have, obviously when we're getting up towards Black Friday, might be the immediacy comes from the fact that it's only open for a certain amount of time, and we'll go into more of that in the coming tutorials and lessons. But you need to think about the immediacy, because that's the thing that's going to get people over the paywall. That's the thing that's going to help people to understand either it's closing or it's only available for a certain amount of time. The third acronym in VIP is price. So price, especially now, is so, so important. So when I'm launching people with their own Substacks right now, if they're brand new to the platform, my advice now is not the same that it was even 6 months ago or a year ago. Low ticket is where we want to be aiming for when we launch our paid Substack. Originally, when we came to Substack, Substack suggested $7 a month and $70 for the year. Then we saw all sorts of different hacks with those prices. People were applying coupons and taking it right down. People were offering lifetime access and all sorts of different things. So it's a really creative space. The price has to feel aligned with what you want to charge, and you have to use my Substack calculator, because it's great being paid. It's great being paid for your writing. It's great being paid for your Substack, but the maths has to work in a way that you feel seen, witnessed, happy with the amount of people that are behind the paywall, so that you feel properly paid, but also so that you feel like there's an energy. If you've got 2-3 people paying and you have to pay for paywall pieces because you've said you will, then, if like you get a 30% open rate, that's probably only one person's going to read your work. So you really need to think about the price point and whether that would enable anybody else to come behind the paywall. Now, you can do vouchers that are for a year only. So Emma Gannon does this a lot, where she'll run a special offer, but it'll be for a year only. So people will come in for a year and then it'll refer back to her regular price, which I think sometimes it's like £15 for the year, and then it'll go to like £69.99. Now, Emma has been on Substack a long time. Same amount of time as me, actually, since 2022. And so it's been really interesting to see her shape and change how she wants to invite people behind the paywall, what she wants to do for free, and all of that good stuff. She does have a massive subscription base behind her. And so when we look at people like Emma, and, we've got a fraction of that, we don't have to replicate what she's doing. She's 3 years into her journey. She's got her specific goals. It might be to get to the purple tick, I don't know, but she's got her specific goals. And so she does what she wants to do. What you do has to be right for you in this season that you're in. So if you've already got a few paid subscribers, and you want to convert more, then that's a beautiful goal. If you haven't got any paid subscribers yet, obviously you're free to access my Growth to Bestseller challenge and look at all of the lessons in there. But one of the things that you want to be thinking about is what you want it to feel like behind the paywall. So say if your whole purpose of doing a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale was to get 10 people paying or 15 people paying or 20 or 50, you get really clear on the goals, you understand the money piece, you understand what the offer is. For some of you, the sale won't be about money at all. It'll be about offering somebody something for free. Maybe it's a 30-day free trial, maybe it's a free class, and the selling piece is you flexing your muscles around feeling comfortable about saying, I really value this, but I'm putting it in front of you guys for free because I'd love you to come, and I'm on my journey with that. So whatever that journey is. So free or low ticket classes, either hosted here or hosted off platform, can be a really beautiful way to build intimacy. So there's all sorts of ways with that. So to reiterate the value, so you have innate value, that's fine, but you have to understand what other people see as the value in your work. The immediate offer. So the immediate offer to people, if they're a free subscriber, then obviously they're just getting to know you and knowing that you need to do some of that work to get them to understand what the paid offer is. Some people will pay straight away, but that isn't the majority of people. Most people need time. They need what we call nurturing. In email marketing, they need to get to know you, they need to understand who you are, whether your values align, and they want to like and trust what you're about as well. And then the price piece, so play around with the Substack calculator, see how it would feel to do a special offer for a year or to invite people in, at a coupon discount, and we'll go more into the practicalities of how to do that, where I'll share my screen tomorrow and give you some tips to make sure that those coupons can be uber successful for you. There's so many different ways with it. The other thing to say, like I mentioned at the beginning, is it can get quite noisy, but as long as you stay true to yourself, and this is why we do the zoom out strategy piece over at Sparkle on Substack, this is just one highlight in the year for you to be able to flex those selling muscles in a really soulful way that feels good, that stretches your edges and gives you lots of insight. So you will always get the people that wait for a discount. If you are in the business of discounting a lot, then you will just get the people who just ignore discounts and know that another one's coming. My advice, and I teach this to all of my clients, is don't do more than 3 or 4 discounts a year. If you do discounts, make sure that you send them via email in your subscriber tab to your free subscribers only, so you keep that messaging away from the people that have paid. It's business. Like, it might feel a bit weird at first, but it is business. People will ask for refunds and people will feel put out if they've just paid full price and then all of a sudden you run a sale. The best thing that you can do is be really transparent about when your sales are going to take place. So I talk about this a lot. I'll run stuff around Black Friday. I'll run stuff at the cusp of the new year, which will be around price increase actually. So less of a sale. And I've done like a couple of flash sales, birthday sales in the past. So it isn't random. Like, I always give people the insight into that. I could do it more. I could be more transparent, but it's been a funny year on Substack. So I haven't wanted to say what I'm definitely going to do because I've been working on my business model outside of Substack. Part of the reason for that I'll go into in future classes, but it's been because I was seeing an incredible amount of growth here on Substack for me and for my clients, for my colleagues, for everyone. And then it started to slow down around May time. So if you're in that boat as well, you're not alone, but we have a real opportunity here on Substack to connect at a deep level and to really hold our business ecosystems and our content ecosystems separately from Substack as well. Focusing in on Substack, let's keep it simple. What are your goals around sales? As we go towards the end of the year and into the new year, come and share in the chat. I can't wait to hear from you. It's so beautiful that you're here. Today is a free challenge and I will leave the chat open. So please tell people, share it on notes, come and hang out. Like, if the VIP framework resonates with you or if you've got questions, feel free to ask those below. I would absolutely love to chat to you, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the Soulful Selling Challenge. Take care, everyone.